I think that there's a trippy like convergence that's happening where they're teaching us to be more like everybody wants to be an influencer, right? Like everybody's having kind of an individual identity. And I think that's more what this next generation has more than any of us before, that we did have like so much like collective responsibility more, I think, in a sense where it was more finely integrated. Like you had like your family and your neighbors, and it was more like kind of grassroots almost. But now we're having more of an umbrella approach where it's like a dome that just encapsulates us all, and it's taking out that like personal individual connection. So we're like singularizing people, but at the same time making us more autonomous, where it makes it so when you pass by somebody in the street, like it doesn't matter, especially with our masks, like it's already practice of that, like people trip out when you make eye contact with it because we're coming unaccustomed
Yeah.
to it. It's like, why are they
Yeah.
staring at me? I have my mask on, don't worry.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
Yeah.
everybody's, the neighborhood watch or something on each other, trying to rat each other out, like they're turning us into those, little Agent Smith police on each other. So I guess like the opposite of that would be to have more interpersonal connections. To our children are getting raised by their devices more and more too, so that's part of the reason why they have like more pragmatic outlooks, is that they are getting exposed to so much input, and they do have kind of like a worldly cultured view in a sense, because they're seeing all these different just from their cartoons, they see diverse characters now, and a cartoon from different families, and they are being more represented even in their family, like at the home, of what the characters eat and stuff like that. It's fascinating what the children are experiencing. But I guess just to bring it home, to like have that actual thread of that knit of the family, of that being like the core of it, and that's really being unraveled by this kind of society, the way they're telling us don't have Christmas with your loved one. It's the American thing to do, I guess, to not see your family and to don't talk about these things, especially not in person, heaven forbid. um yeah, and just realize, yeah, that's what's important, like, and how valuable it is just to gather around a table and have a meal with the people you love, and being able to like have a conversation about what's important and what you are grateful for your day, and what you want to happen in the next day, and that's like being evaporated from the system and culture. And it's so easy to sacrifice because it seems so superfluous, when you have a million things to get through in a day and all that. But that really is like the crux of what it is to be a human, almost, is a family at their table eating together.
Yeah.
So I want to
Yeah.
see that.
Yep. Same. I'm with that. I'm with that. I mean, and it, w- traditionally, we're not those parents either.
Right.
You know what I mean? We grew up that way. I at the table every night. So praying before we eat.
Right.
Like all of it. We grew up that way, but it is different.
My
I
table
don't
holds
think
my mail.
right. I'm almost positive that most families don't do it that way, and I'm not going to say it's right or wrong, but it's definitely affected us.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely changed some things, and that's huge. That's pretty big dynamic. I grew up with both of my parents. I myself am a single mom. Um, I've been a single mom for the last 8 years, and recently me and dad decided to let my sons go live with him and their stepmom. Um, Kids, especially sons, boys, need family structure, and there's nothing. Being a feminist, I made the choice for my children to go live with a beautiful nuclear family. You know what I mean? So it's I don't know, it's not that hard, to be able to, one, do what's best for our kids, and two, think logically about what exactly where we're taking these fights and these battles, and pick and choose which ones we really want to fight. Fighting an overweight woman on what she drinks because she's trying to make herself better isn't a fight that you should be fighting. um you know it's it, it's getting silly, on top of on top of maybe not being able to understand anymore where it's coming from, because it's taken itself to a whole nother level, and I don't really want to get into all of that just yet. I've done it on my own on a rant, but it's I don't see it getting better before it starts to get worse, as far as um the berating and the bullying, not just on people on the opposite side of the fence, people on the same side of the fence, the side of that they're on.
Yeah, exactly.
There's an implosion that's about to happen on that side, and that's going to be sad to see, because that's going to destroy a lot of people who have built their self-esteem, I guess you can say, on the idea that what makes them special is their body, their sexuality, their the color of their skin, the fact that they wear eyelashes, the fact that they wear long nails. Like, it doesn't really matter what it is, because it gets ridiculous. It does turn into these things, but they're all physical things that people seem to, again, ironically, are fighting self-image, but at the same time they're sitting there dyeing their hair and putting 1,000 piercings in their face, and they're doing things to make themselves look better in a sense, but at the same time still saying, this is me, this is my body, this is who I am. So it's like, I guess have your cake and eat it too, but to sit there and bully somebody else for making a decision to better herself in one way or another, not just dye her hair, not just cut bangs, not just give herself 4-inch acrylic nails, actually doing something positive with her body, as opposed to putting it out there and twerking, which she also does. But at least she sat there and she said, hey, I'm doing this, and I want to encourage you to do the same. And she got flack for that. And she had to turn around and say, you know what, this is what I want to do, but you do what you got to do for your body. Well, how does that help anybody? You do what you do for your body.
Well, that's not the theme of 2020, is like everybody has to do health the same way in 2020. You're not allowed to do health for yourself.
Again, another SJW, foot in the mouth, hypocritical.
Right.
Coincidence.
If you think you feel healthy, sorry, you're wrong.
Right.
Take this test, wear your mask.
Yeah.
Get your vax.
Yeah. It's yeah. So that bothered me a little bit. I don't know if this topic was any kinder than the COVID vaccine topic. I kind of hope it was. I kind of hope it was more fun. It did. I guess it turned into a little bit of a rant, I suppose, but it is funny to me that their movement is very very, very all over the place. I don't even think they know what they believe in anymore at this point.
I think they know what they're doing. I think they want to separate us by any means necessary, divide and conquer. They're funneling everybody into these characteristics where, for time immemorial, you identified as your family name. All the, people in power, they identify by their family name. That's right. What, like, you may not know their name, but like they do. And they're carrying it through very protectedly. And they're trying to, steal that from us, where we don't care about what our name is. We change our names on a whim. Like, we don't realize the repercussions of that. We don't know our history. We're identifying like, oh, because this group of people are trans and I'm trans and my family doesn't understand my decisions, then I'm going to cut out my entire bloodline. I'm going to go with this group of people that I just met at my dorm in college because they're trans too. But then I didn't do the right thing at the bar, that I didn't wear the right outfit or say the right thing because I wasn't the, whatever enough. You lose your whole circle. And then what do you have? So they're like wanting people to be completely isolated, completely, where all you have is, then that all they have is the SJWs. All they have are the like official people that are, like rallying for them.
Right. And they're always so mad.
They're always so mad.
They're always so mad, and not just mad, physically violent at times. You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute, that's going to be your first reaction to somebody disagreeing with you. You know, it's seen a lot, actually, especially nowadays, people getting loud in public about it. Wait a minute, I didn't mean anything by whatever it is
Mhm.
I said or didn't say. You know, I had somebody the other day, you know, get upset with me. Well, when women don't even have the right to choose their own bodies, you know, trying to change abortion laws. I'm like, dude, women can literally turn themselves into dudes. I'm sure they have their body, their choice now. It's literally their body, their choice. They get to pick and choose. Like, how is that not freedom? What more could we do? What
The
more could
mind
we
f on it all is that like the government doesn't really have that control on you yet, where like they can say whatever is a law, but ultimately like your physical body and your relationship with reality is yours. So whatever you do to your body, ultimately, like they can say it's illegal to have whatever relationship with who or do whatever to you, and you can go do it technically, as long as it's like behind closed doors or whatever, nobody catches you. But you know, like we're getting to the point where as they're doing so much body your choice, that as they are interjecting the law and stuff into our relationship with our body, that's where we're reaching the point where you can't, where it's not going to be like that anymore. If we have like the nanotech in us and stuff, and they're able to do our biometrics, or if you have to have a certain vax pass in order to have a job or fly on a plane, like they're going such extreme of body acceptance and stuff that they're actually like taking away your body autonomy in order to protect it for all.
right for all? But that's the point, is how far are we going to take it to where we're not doing that anymore? Now we're alienating an entire country. You know what I mean? That it's not getting, it's not going in the direction that delivers the progressive message that it started out to be. It's definitely now delivering a message that we're in control, whatever we say goes. And this is on a smaller level. It's not even talking about government. I'm talking about the people, the internet warriors that are,
Right.
you know, even that alone. What we say goes. We're going to bully the hell out of you
Right.
until you either see our point, or we're going to, you know, I've had people pull pictures of my kids off my page and talk shit about the boys.
Oh,
you know,
really?
things like
Oh,
that.
that-
Yeah.
oh.
Insane. Yeah, this is it. It's full control. Oh, you disagree? You're a racist. You're a cis pig. You're this. You're that. Whoa.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's, thank God I never went that far. I think the farthest I've ever gone was racist. You know, you're a racist. But that's all we had back then. We didn't have all these other cool names to call people. You know? Yeah. So it's yeah. I mean, when does it stop? Well, it stops when we recognize what's going on, and it stops when we're able to hold accountability for our own selves. That's when it stops. It stops when we stop raising our kids to think that they deserve more because of who they're not. And on the same token, that they deserve more because of who they are, which is where this white privilege argument comes in, I suppose. It's which, to me is just is imaginary. You know what I mean? I grew up very fortunate, and not rich, but very, very, very fortunate. And I'm not white. You know what I mean? So I can't even speak. I generationally, my family grew up very well. We love this place, thank God. You know what I mean? And I think that goes for a lot of countless other families that I can think of that are minority, that are still here. Because if it was so bad, they'd probably be gone, if you ask me. Common sense. If you're not happy where you are, you move. So I mean, all this oppression, all these ideas that this country ain't quite right because of how we treat each other, and how TV treats us, and how there's not enough this and that and the other on TV, and how there's too much of this on TV. It's getting ridiculous now. I mean, Wakanda, a white man made Wakanda and gave everybody else permission to enjoy it as if it's some type of history.
Right. Identify with this franchise instead of your actual motherland. Like, ignore your ancestors.
Right.
Take on this.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're
And we
welcome.
talk about it too, I believe, but I mean, it's just it's true. Like